When the lights go down, the real conversations begin. Welcome to Basic Black After Dark, hosted by Black Diamond, where truth, healing, and growth take center stage. This is the space where mental health, family, healing, and personal growth are talked about, honestly and without filters. Featuring intimate interviews with authors and thought leaders who aren't afraid to share their journey. Because every story told reminds someone watching, you are not alone. Basic Black After Dark, now streaming on the Crew platform. Tap in. When the lights go down, the real.
Hey everybody, this is Black Diamond, and you're listening to Basic Black After Dark. This is the show that meets you where you are and gives you what you ask for. We are tuned in here tonight, and it's not just a conversation, it is a celebration. We are talking about legacy, we are talking about literature, we are talking about honoring the voices that shape culture, preserve history, and move generations forward. Because let me tell you something, authors don't just write books. They document movements, they challenge systems, they build worlds with words. And tonight we are sitting down with the visionary founder behind the Distinguished Authors Guild, that's the DAG Awards. It's a platform designed to recognize excellence, elevate impact, and celebrate authors while they are still here to receive their flowers. This isn't just about awards, it's about recognition, it's about credibility, it's about culture. So if you are an author, an inspiring writer, or someone who believes stories have power, stay right here. You're going to learn a lot. So let's welcome the founder of the Distinguished Authors Guild Awards, Gina Gadsden.
Thank you.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
a great introduction.
Oh no, I couldn't have the introduction without you. Couldn't have given it to anybody else. So it suits you so well. So,
Thank
Gina, before the awards, before the platform, there was a vision. Take us back to where the vision began.
Well, the vision actually began when I had a daycare, and it bloomed from the children that I was caring for that came through my door. I had this vision, and I had this prophecy that I would touch children in a way to help them learn. And so I got the idea from my books, Alpha's Adventure, from the children in my daycare. I had two children who could not read. And I knew if I didn't help those children, they would go through life and become adults with no ability to read. And so I took time and I sat down and I taught them how to read. And I wanted to touch children on a larger level. And the way that God sent it to me was to do it through books. Now, I did that for, I would say, maybe 5 years, where I was doing book fairs and I was, doing different things with my books. And God gave me a vision to take it even further. I experienced the roadblocks that every author goes through when they write a book. I wrote my books. When they came in the mail, I was very excited. And then I stood there and I said, what's next? How do I do this? And so I know every author who has written a book they've been there. You get started on this journey and you don't know which direction to go in. And so I wanted to help authors to navigate through this process. I navigated, I hit a lot of brick walls.
Mhm.
I stumbled and I had to get up. And so I wanted to be that arm or that shoulder that was there, or even that push to get authors through this process, and help them to understand how the process works. And so that was the vision given to me by God.
So you were catching them young as little babies, getting them to read and just letting them know that it's more to than just the storybooks. It's their story that they can someday write as well. When did you first realize authors needed a platform like DAG? And we say DAG because it's Distinguished Authors Guild.
Distinguished Authors Guild. And it was actually what myself and two other individuals, we came together and we decided we wanted to do something different than the average book sales and, peddling books and doing those types of things. We wanted to do more than that. And so we came together and we put our heads together and we came up with the Distinguished Authors Guild Award Show, where that night would simply be honoring authors because authors work so hard to get those books out there. You'll run into all kind of stories, authors who have lost money,
Mm,
authors who were afraid to market their books or didn't know how to market their books. And so that one night that you just leave all that behind and have a wonderful time, it's like a reset. And so that's why we decided that that is the direction we were going to go in. And even though the two of them went in a different direction, God still led me to continue on with the Distinguished Authors Guild.
well, we're glad that you did because I was there last year. So
Yes. It was a pleasure meeting you in person.
yes, it was. It was a pleasure meeting so many of the other authors that, and that's one of the things about, I guess, the Distinguished Authors Guild and why you built it up the way that you did. We see each other over Facebook and other social media, and we talk and we tag and we like and we give little emoji hugs and everything. But when you get in person with the individual, it's a totally different thing. It's like a family reunion. You haven't seen this person in a while. So for me, and I'm going to speak for me, it was wonderful to see some of the young ladies and some of the young men that were there that I spoke to, but hadn't seen them in person. So to see them in person, it just kept a smile on my face, like, wow, I actually met this person. To me, it was like meeting a celebrity. I really met this person. So
And
that's
it
what
comes full
that
circle.
was.
It comes full circle. You guys, you join together for 6, 7, 8 months out the year, and you do all of these different things together. The book fairs and the sharing tips and information, even connecting each other with others who need help, and then you get to see that person.
Yeah.
Seeing that person, it's like, okay, now this is a whole person that I
Yeah.
met and known for 6 to 8 months, and I actually get to see them.
Yeah, it's not just the face. So, what does distinguish truly mean to you in the literary world?
It means special, something or someone that's special and deserve being treated specially, being treated as a king or being treated as a queen,
Mhm. Well, that's
distinguished.
exactly what they are, kings and queens
Yes.
throughout. So, what gap did
Mhm.
you see in the industry that DAG fills? Because people do award banquets, different types. Doesn't have to always be authors and literature. It could be many different types. What gap did you see in the industry, in this industry, that DAG fills?
I see a gap where authors are trying to do it alone.
Mm,
They don't have anyone to help them or they don't want to ask for help. And I tell authors all the time, you'll get there faster if you ask for help.
yeah,
You may do it on your own. It's going to take a lot longer. Why not come to a community or come to individuals who can help get you where you want to be without having to take such a long time to do it? I'm this Distinguished Authors Guild is trying to fill that gap where you don't feel that you're out there alone. Some don't know, they come in, they don't know an illustrator or a publisher or how to market or how to promote themselves on social media. And we help them, whether it's myself or any other authors in the group. It's a community that's there to help build each other up.
well, yeah, I've been hearing that a lot that evening with some of the networking that was going on throughout that evening that we were there last year.
Yes.
It was so much information that was given to, well, to me, from talking to other individuals about not just where they got, how they got started, who they're connected with, their journey throughout. And it wasn't about being on a podcast. It was just a regular conversation with real people. And I want everybody out there to know that because we have, I guess, the title of being an author, we're real people. We believe like
Hmm.
everybody else. We sob like everybody else. We make mistakes like everybody else do. We're no different than anybody else. It's just that we just have
Absolutely.
something else added, like somebody's a police officer, somebody's a nurse, somebody's a doctor.
Hmm.
So people hold more than one title. So
And
how
that's
do
what
you?
I say. That's exactly what I tell people. Authors do more than write books.
Yes, they most certainly do. And that's one of the things I tell them is that you have to learn to build your platform. You can't just sit back and just think the book is
Right.
going to make your money because
Right.
I don't know. Maybe some others may be able to do that. Maybe like J.K. Rowling's. I don't think I'm going to be at that level, but if I can get there, I'll be happy to be there. So, what has been most of the challenging part of building the DAG Awards?
The most challenging in the 6 years that DAG has been in place, it's getting those doors open for not just the authors but myself as well, because I do have 5 children's books, and not having and I just want to say this is another reason that the Distinguished Authors Guild platform was built on being a community, because I know authors go out there and they have doors shut in their face. I know firsthand where I wanted to put my book somewhere and they said we don't take those type of books.
Yeah,
And that is very challenging because, you feel like every door should be open to you no matter what. But because it's a black or brown book, there's a lot of places that don't want to put them there. Myself, for example, my books are not in Books and Noble or Walmart or any of the other bookstores, because I decided to make my books small enough for children to hold them comfortably in their hand. And so they don't fit the standards that those places want your books to be. There, it's not the size that they are requiring your book to be. And I was okay with that because to me, what my focus was is to have the children have books in their hands. And if my books are small enough for those little hands to hold them by themselves comfortably, then I'm okay with them not being on Barnes and Noble and Walmart and all the other places.
right. Yeah, I go through there, and sometimes I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I'll look to see is my book in there. I don't see it. You can get it off of Barnes and Nobles and Walmart, but it's not in the store. And I've contacted someone. I won't mention the franchise, but I had put my book out there, and they told me that my title was a little bit too racy for them.
Mhm.
Not racy as far as race; it was the title itself.
Mhm.
And
I
I told them
understand
there
what
was
you're
no mistake in what I had written, so I'm not going to change the title. I'm going to leave it as it is because this is a book that you cannot judge by the cover,
saying.
and
Mhm.
I'm for the better for it because now I know that this is what some entities will say to you, and I can pass that along. That everybody's not going to want your book,
Right.
and that's
And
okay.
that's the point I just made.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
okay if you don't
those
want it
doors are being
because the next
shut.
person will.
Hmm.
It is okay. So personally, what does legacy look like for you?
Legacy looks to me like people know when I leave here, people will say, she helped me. She help open this door for me to walk into. That's my legacy. And that's one that I feel that I'm building and I'm very proud of, because people need that help. You need that. If I can give a person a leg up, if I can give an author a leg up, if I can give an entrepreneur a leg up, I feel like I've done what God put on me to do.
Right. So we have Maya Angelou, Cicely Tyson,
Hmm.
Toni Morrison, and I could just continue to go on and
Yes.
name more and more. Why is it important that authors are recognized while they're still alive?
because that's where the impact comes from. The impact comes from when you're alive and the impression that you leave, the impression that you're making, those footsteps that you're putting down before you leave here. That's what people are going to remember. We don't remember Maya Angelou laying in a coffin. We don't remember
Mm.
her, being on a sick bed. We remember the things she did when she was a strong woman out here voicing and sharing her stories. And that's the same thing that authors have to do. They have to
I like
leave
that
those
point.
footprints.
I like that point that you made, with not remembering her in the coffin and more so remembering her speeches. It
Hmm.
just took me, a glance real quick about when they did her funeral, but that's not what I remember. I remember her standing at podiums speaking, and I like that point that you made with that. So what makes DAG differ from other literary awards besides it being distinguished?
We set ourselves apart from other award shows where we actually promote authors' books throughout the time that they sign up with Distinguished Authors Guild. We promote their books throughout. We put them on different platforms, podcasts, radio stations, virtual book fairs, libraries. I don't, there may be other award shows that do that. I don't know of any, but we want to make sure that before we get to that night, they're
Mhm.
recognized. When individuals come in there, they'll say, "Oh, I saw you on Facebook, or I saw your book on wherever," you know, because they, we want that night to be about them. And
Yeah.
so when people come in there, they're not strangers. They, just like you said, we get to meet face to face now. I've seen your face and I've seen your books all over Facebook and all over these different podcasts and everywhere else. And now I get to put a face with the person.
Yeah, it was wonderful just to see some of them and to meet some new people. I've heard the names, but I couldn't put the face with it. Integrity and credibility. How
Mhm.
does DAG protect those things in the nomination process?
Well, I separate myself from the judging process because throughout that process, I've become very close with all of the nominees. If it was up to me, everybody would win, but everybody can't win. And so I separate myself from judging the books so that, people know that it's unbiased. There are individuals that are separate. They have never met any of the readers. They don't know who the readers are. The readers don't know the authors. So they can have an unbiased opinion when they read those books and give feedback. And that's the way it should be.
Max, I've seen many of the nominees and the winners just about on every platform that I can think of. What impact have you seen DAG have on the authors in honors?
Oh my goodness, I've seen so much. I have authors who have had their books picked up in school systems, a few of them. I've had authors who've had their books picked up in fraternities. I've had authors who are now writing their own magazine, who now have
Mm,
their own podcasts, who are now doing workshops and teaching other authors how to become an award winning author. And so it's really, and this is what the point I try to make, is really what you do with that night. If you stop that night, the night November when we have that award show, if that's as far as you go, that's as far as you're going to go. But if you
mm,
take those tools and you keep on with what you've learned through Distinguished Authors Guild, it's going to elevate you.
yeah,
And that's what you want. You want, if we all are doing this to elevate our stories, to elevate our books, to get them in the hands of individuals who need them, or those who may be going through the same thing and this may be therapy for them. That's what we're trying to do. And so you don't want to stop with that night. You have to keep going. But
yeah,
as you know, once you become a member of the Distinguished Authors Guild, you stuck for life. It's not over that night. Just like we're here now. We had the award show in November 2025, and now we're here still connected.
Yes, we are. So, what qualities do you believe separate good authors from impactful authors?
Those who invest in their books are
Yeah.
the impactful authors. Those who spend money to have their book edited professionally, to have professional covers, to make sure there are no errors in the books. Those are the ones who are going to make an impact. And if you are serious about being an author and an entrepreneur, because the two go hand in hand, you're going to invest in your work. You're going to invest in yourself. And if you invest in it the way you should, you are going to see it grow.
Yeah. Investment, it can cost you, but in the end, it pays off.
It does.
And
It
it
does.
doesn't
But
mean
think
that it
about
pays off financially, it pays off in recognition. So, how can authors better position themselves for recognition?
get rid of the fear. And it's okay to be afraid, but don't let the fear stop you. Don't let the fear hinder you. Work with that fear, because when you're afraid, you come out fighting. You
Mhm.
should come out fighting, and you're going to fall. But those roadblocks that you hit, they should only slow you down. They should not stop you.
Right. I love it. I love it. So, what mistakes do you see that emerging authors often make? Because they'll come in, well, I'll let you explain it because I've seen some, but I'll let you explain it. What mistakes do you see emerging authors making?
Not putting the time in. A lot of, we don't, especially you know, older individuals. I'm an older individual. We don't want to spend time on social media. We don't want to spend time promoting our books on different social media platforms. We don't want to take time out to, go to these different events and network and get to know people. But that's what you have to do if you want your platform to grow. You have to get out there and you have to meet those individuals who can push you up and help you or connect you with the people you need to be connected with. If you don't do that, it's going to be an uphill battle, even
Mhm.
when it comes to social media. And I'm going to tell you, I am not one for social media, but I force myself to be, and I knew that that was the only way. Well, that was one of the best ways that I was going to get the information out to the masses. That was the only way that I can reach an audience that wasn't local. And if
Mhm.
you know that the authors who come into DAG, they're coming from all over the country. They're not local authors. They're coming from all different states in the United States. And so the only way to reach them in that way is through social media. So authors have to get used to doing it. I tell them take 15 minutes, 20 minutes when you wake up or before you go to bed, or schedule those posts to go out, but your face should be seen consistently.
Yeah. So, you mentioned social media, and I'm still trying to get through Facebook because I think that's one of my best friends. Instagram, it, I'm trying. I'm trying.
I'm trying
How
to.
important, how important is community among authors?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
How
Repeat that,
important is
please.
community among authors?
Oh, it is very important. Like I said earlier, you do need other people. And I know a lot of individuals, a lot of authors feel like I'll do it by myself. I'll get my book out there by myself. I'll connect by myself. But you need that community to help you. One of the things that taught me was the predators that are out here.
Mm,
You
yeah.
don't know who's serious and who's not. I've had so many authors call me up and say, "Hey, somebody reached out to me and told me they can get my book on television. Hey, somebody told me if I send them $10,000, they could sell 1 million copies of my book." Those predators are out there. And so you need a community of individuals that can help you. If you need an illustrator, if you need a publisher, I reached out in the group today and said, "Hey, is there a publisher in the group?" I know somebody who's looking to publish a book and they're looking for a publisher because I know the individuals in that group, if they raise their hand and say I'm a publisher, I know that they're legit. And
Yeah.
that's what the community is all about. If one person in that group's need an illustrator, and someone recommends an illustrator or they say I'm an illustrator, you best believe they are legit.
Yeah, there's a hard knocks life to it because I got caught up in that fraudulent act of
Mhm.
someone posing as a well-known company, book company, and they had everything. They had the logo, they had the name, they had the area code that they come from, and everything just seemed like it was so legit. And I bought into it all the way, and they were sending me back materials, and everything was just lining up until that one thing happened, and I questioned it. And when I questioned it, I was correct, and they were fraud. And
Mhm.
they got me
Yeah.
for thousands of dollars. I'm going to tell you, but I got my money back. But but you
And
had to
you know
go
what?
through to go. It was horrible. If I had just started out being an author, they would
Mhm.
probably took me because I wouldn't have known what to do. But being in this business for over 25 years, you know, I should have known
You
better.
know the
But
red
you
flag.
know, it was just those things that they had that made it look like it was so real.
Oh
I'm talking about
yes.
they had the even up to the color of the ink, it was just that good. So
Oh
they
my
could
god.
get the
Yes.
best of you, and they got me for
Yes.
some money. But it
But
was
you know
just that
what?
one
They
question that I
pray.
asked that made me think something wasn't right. And I did some more digging, and then I actually turned around and called that company. They had no idea who I was talking about.
Wow.
So I
See,
had to
you
give it
did
to the
your due
bank.
diligence. You
Yeah,
did due
I
diligence,
had
but
to
not
tell them I'm
everyone
doing some
does that.
homework. Everything stopped. I got to the bank. I sent them information. I got the company. I had them send information verifying that these people didn't work for them. It was a back and forth and whatnot. And when I got my money back, I just about cried because I said I should have known better. But I'm not going to say it's going to happen to everybody, but you got to ask questions. You have to do a
Hmm.
lot of research because it
Hmm.
can happen
But
to
you know what?
anyone.
That they know that you have this desire, and they prey on that. All authors want their books on television. All authors want their books made into a movie. You know, they know this. All authors would love to sell 1 million copies.
Yeah.
And so they prey on that because they know that's a deep desire that you have. And a lot of times when you have that desire, and you hear those words that someone can help get you there, you go for it,
You able.
forget about all the things that you know and all the things that you were taught. I was a victim as well, and I should have known better, and like you, I got my money back. I just wasn't standing for you walking away with my hard-earned money.
Right. Well, it happens. I just was talking to some people a couple of weeks ago about they're new authors and they're coming into it, and I just explained to them, you please be mindful. And
Mm,
they know that you got your book out. They see that it just came out. They figure you're a new author. They're going to come for you. They're sharks, and I'm going to call it what it is. They're sharks. They're going to come for you. They come for the older ones too, because sometimes, and I'll speak for me, you get tired and just figure that somebody else can do it for you, and you can just relax a
mhm.
little bit more. But you
Yes.
don't really ever earn that. I'm quite sure those who had been, like Langston Hughes and everybody else, I'm quite sure they may have been through it too.
Hmm.
And some people probably, because of who he was, probably still tried to go after him, with his name, or even use his likeness and say that I worked with him and I
Right.
did this for him. So it happens. It happens
Yes, it
too.
does.
Just do some research. Don't be afraid to ask any questions, because if you don't ask the questions, you're going to get got. I can just about tell you that. So what has surprised you most about running an awards organization?
Oh my goodness. The tears and the joy. I didn't know it would be as exhilarating as it is, and it really shocked me. I mean, to see the authors come and have tears and tears of joy and feel so honored that night, and that's the whole point. We want you to feel honored, but to actually see it is so surreal. And it's a feeling that I never forget. It's always there. And every time I think about it, it put a smile on my face.
Yeah, for me, it was looking at everybody out there, whether I won or not, just looking at everybody out there. Everybody's dressed to the nines. Everybody's sitting there waiting for anybody's name to be called. And it didn't even have to be their name that was called. It was just that brotherhood, sisterhood thing that we're out
Yes.
here for one another. And that's what made me feel good. Now, I don't know whether you noticed it or not, but when it was time for me to say a speech, I had the wrong one because I was just so happy to see. I was just so happy to see everybody. I was like, when I got off, I was like, that's not what I said I was going to say if I had the choice of getting up here or even just saying it, period. But I was just so happy and so pleased to see everyone out there and just looking and just beaming. And some of them were new and just saying, I got to see
Yes.
you. I got to meet you. And that's the things that I wanted to say, but that's
Yes.
not what came out. So it happens. It happens. So what does expansion look like for DAG in the next 3 to 5 years?
Expansion is going to be awarding more students scholarships. A lot of people don't know that DAG gives scholarships to college
We do.
students, but the goal is to give 10 students $1,000 scholarship and more. And so that's my biggest ask, is to give back to the students who are in creative writing so that we can get more authors out here, young authors who continue to carry the baton. That's important to me, to give a hand so that they can come up.
Okay.
They're going to be out there just like we are, working hard, dodging the predators, you know, wondering if my book is good enough, afraid to get out there and talk about the book. They're going to be us. And so, giving back to them and being able to have those scholarships so that it can give some help for them through college. I know God has told me that it's going to get bigger. I mean, last year we gave out, was the first year we gave out two scholarships, and I was excited about it. And it's going to continue to grow.
I was pleased when I saw that those two individuals won the scholarships and that you were doing that for young writers that want to pursue the literary world and just express themselves because whether we want to accept it or not, the youth have a lot to say. We may not like what they say. To tell you the truth, I won't even say we don't like what they say. We don't understand what they're saying. We were
That's it
people
right
at one
there.
time too, and our elders didn't understand what we were saying. So I'm going to say it, and I'm going to acknowledge it. Yes, I'm older now, and half of the stuff they say I don't understand. But what I do is I take the time and I ask them what do they mean by that, and I think they appreciate that more when you ask instead of judging them because
Yes.
when you judge them like these young kids, these little whippersnappers or whatever you want to call them, they don't
Hmm.
appreciate that. They honestly don't. Just ask the question, what do you mean by that? I can tell you, they will explain it to you if you ask, because they will be happy to explain it to you. They'll be happy to see that they're teaching you something.
Exactly.
So you doing that, it's 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 a bond that you can have with them. It's like a
Hmm.
mentorship
And it's
that you
filling
can
that,
have with
it's
them.
filling in that age gap.
Oh yes, because I've learned a lot from some of them that's I'll say a little younger than me. I learned a lot from teenagers. I've learned a lot of language from them. Now I'm gonna even go younger than that. My 3-year-old granddaughter taught me something. I had no idea what she was talking about. She took her fingers and did this, and I said, "What's going on with her? What's wrong with her?" She said, "Clock this," and I said, "What?"
Oh
I
my
had
gosh.
no idea what she was talking about. She says, "Ma, this is what it means." I said, "See, this is what I'm talking about." Don't laugh at me.
Now that one went over my head.
It does. She said some other words too that kind of caught me, and she was on point. And I ain't gonna say what she said, but in doing so, that taught me that I'm missing so much. that I'm so busy worried about my generation and what's going on with them. It's going to go on no matter what. But I
Hmm.
still need to keep up with what's going on with them because those are the thems that's going to be taking care of the these. So I
Right.
need to know that you have the tools that you need to be
Hmm.
able to take care of me. And I'm not saying as a child to take care of me. I'm talking about the doctors, the lawyers, the people
Right.
that's out there that's going to be able to take care of us. And that's enriching our community. So those are the things that I'm talking about that when I say the youth, the younger ones, they do have a lot to say. And if you listen to them, they're really some intelligent kids. They
Yes.
really are.
Yes.
All they want is the opportunity and all they want is the chance and to show you that I can do this, that I can
Hmm.
do this if given the chance, because I know I said that. I wish I had the chance to do this. I wish I had the chance to do it. And what you're doing with giving them those awards, that's giving them that chance and that opportunity. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a
If you,
pleasure.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I say it's a pleasure, and you know, every year I'm looking around and like, how am I going to do this? And God always provides, and He always open the doors and send the people to me that helps me to make it happen. And so, I always wonder how can I do it this year? And He always makes a way.
No, he will. When you're doing good things, he's always looking and he's watching. He's watching every little thing that we do. And he knows the blessing that you need in order to bless someone else.
Absolutely.
So if you could speak directly to an author who feels unseen right now, what would you say?
You may feel unseen, but you are seen. There's a lot of people that are looking that don't say anything. They keep their mouths shut, but they see exactly what you're doing. So make sure that you're doing it correctly and doing it professionally, because once you make that mistake, that's when they'll open their mouth and you'll know that they see you.
Yeah, yeah, well said, well said. So if you
Yeah.
believe your work carries impact, which I'm quite sure it does, intention and excellence, you're invited to submit your book for consideration for the Distinguished Authors Guild, that's the DAG Awards. Gina, for our authors and aspiring authors who are watching tonight, can you walk them through exactly how they can submit their books and what they need to know before applying?
Yes, they can go on the DAG Facebook page. The registration is there. Or they can go to the website, which is distinguishedauthors.org, and complete the registration there. Everything is lined out. Once you pay the registration fee, you'll see the packages there. You choose a package depending on how much promotion you would like to have. And then you mail in your book. The PO box is listed in the app in the registration form as well, and you're on your way because we start promoting that book, getting it in front of people, and one of the things that you'll realize is once you become a part of DAG, you're now going to be in front of an audience that you wouldn't have been in front of before. You now are going to be in front of people that you would not have been in front of if you had not been a part of DAG. So that's the beauty of it.
So when you submit a book, can you submit more than one entry?
You can submit more than one entry. There is a registration fee of $30 for each book. However, if it's a series, the series is judged on all the books.
Oh,
So you
wow.
can submit the series. We've had authors who have submitted series, but all the books are read and all the books will be given feedback. So you have a one in one plus opportunity there where it could be nominated and it could not be nominated.
Well, you heard her. She told you how to get to those books. I'm hoping that by the time we get off this call, that you're going on that line. You could be doing it right now while we're talking, so you can
That's
start submitting your books. How far back do the books have to go? Is there a cutoff time, like maybe within the last 2, 3 years, the book have to be written?
no. There is no cutoff time, but there is a page maximum. The books have to be 365 pages or less.
Okay.
Um, and I tell all authors, I give here's the criteria, because if you don't meet the criteria, I'm not going to have you. I'm not going to take your registration. I'm not going to take your registration fee. I'm going to tell you up front. The books have to be error free.
Mm-mm.
I don't think anyone has ever picked up an award winning book and it has errors in it. And that goes back to what we talked about earlier, Black. Invest in your work, invest in yourself. Make sure you hire a professional editor. The other criteria is, does the book cover catch your attention? Now, you talked about how many books are out there, how your book is buried in Walmart and the other hundred thousands of books. There's 6 million books on Amazon. Your cover has to catch the attention, because if your cover don't catch the attention, they'll never know what's on the other side of that cover. So you have to have a cover that catches the attention. And the third criteria, does your book keep the reader's attention? Man, I could tell you a lot of books that I picked up and did not want to put down. That's an award-winning book. Yours is one of them.
Okay. I thought, I'm gonna be honest, when I was asked to enter it, I said no because I said the title was going to tell them that this is too much. They won't accept this with this title. And I just said no, I wasn't going to do it. But I was encouraged by one of your ambassadors to go right ahead and do it. I said, okay, what could I lose? Just the word,
Mhm.
that's all I can get back. And I got that information from you, and they said we accepted it, and I was like, yay, me! I
Yes,
was
well,
very pleased, and I thank you and the committee for accepting my book and the
oh,
nomination and the win. So I do appreciate it, and I appreciate just everybody that was there that night. It was one of those nights that was truly unforgettable. And what
it was, and you know, a lot of authors don't know, but I have a library of books. I wait until after the nominations are done, and I purchase those books. I have your book in my library. I have a lot of the authors' books in my library, and I even if I see a book that can benefit someone that I know, I'll purchase that book and send it out to them. I've had lots of books sent out to Vegas for my daughter. She loves to read, and I know the type of books that she liked to read. And so I'll have an author send the book out to her or other individuals that I know. I know a lot of people that like to read, and so my library is large. You would not believe how many books that I have, because I try to purchase everyone's a book from every author or every nominee that is part of DAG. So most of the books that have been submitted from 2020, I have a copy of.
Oh wow! So what day is the awards this year? I know you said November. Did
November
you set the
15th
date, or are
this
you holding the date back?
November 15th.
November
That's the
15th.
date.
November
Yes.
15th. At what time?
It'll be 4 p.m. This is on a Sunday.
Okay.
I think we've had Sundays before when we were in Vegas. Believe it or not, the award show, we were in Vegas for 2 years, and for 2 years it was on a Wednesday. And on a Wednesday, we had a huge turnout in Vegas.
Oh wow, Vegas.
Yes, and so we're already talking about where it's going to be next year. So we're
Oh,
looking
okay.
at maybe Arizona.
Oh, it's gonna be hot. In all the sense of the word hot.
But guess what? Everybody complained about it being cold in Chicago. So
Well,
now
you
we
know
get to
what?
go somewhere hot.
It wasn't. Well, I guess because I'm so used to the weather, it wasn't cold for me. It's just I've never been to Chicago, and I was expecting the windy city, but I didn't get that when I was there. So the weather was fine. I'm just glad it didn't snow, but
Well,
it was
Black, after
fine.
you guys left, we had a polar vortex. It was a -5.
Well, we left right on time. We left right on time. But you know
Yes.
what? The hotel was comfortable. As long as I had my little snacks, I would have been okay. I would have probably had to call into work and say, "Look, I'm stuck in Chicago," but I would have been fine. The weather would have been okay with me. And what I appreciate most about tonight's conversation is that it reminds us authors are culture shapers. They're historians, they're healers, and they're architects of perspective. The Distinguished Authors Guild Awards is not just about trophies. It's about honoring voices that refuse to be silenced. Gina, thank you for building a platform that celebrates excellence with intention. And to our listeners, if you are an author, keep writing. If you
Yeah.
support authors, keep reading because stories change systems. This
Hmm.
is Basic Black After Dark. I'm Black Diamond. And remember, your voice is valuable, your story matters, and your impact is not accidental. Join us March 20th when we sit down with Shalon Lee for another powerful conversation you won't want to miss. And as always, thank you for keeping it basic.